Tutaanza kwa jina Nyakemincha. Yesterday I was called as I was traveling home from around Nyaururu and was informed that very heavy rains had fallen in Nyamira, and unfortunately they had blown off the roof of one of our tuition blocks. I called a number of people to tell them to confirm for me, because I thought it's a April Fool's Day prank. But unfortunately, when I called members of the board who rushed to the scene, they confirmed that it was true. It's a very unfortunate incident that has taken us several steps back, but we thank God that there were no injuries, there were no life lost. It's blown off several meters from the school compound. To assess the damage and give us a report on why that roof gave in. Currently, we are holding a board meeting. We've not finished that meeting. I think after the meeting we can give the refund. Thank you. Perhaps roof blowing off. I think the gap on the right, which is next to the office, collapsed on the roof of the office, and the secretary's office roof gave in. So it also damaged that part. We were able to evacuate the machines that were there and all the documents. They were safely transferred to another office, but the damage is also a bit, there is quite some damage. We have not yet established the value of the damage. Otherwise, the building remains intact. I think after we get a public report officer will return, but from a casual look, the building is very, very intact, except that the roof gave in and was blown away. Yeah.
At the lab, right?
Equipment in the lab technician is already on the ground. He will assess and also give us the amount of damage. So currently we may not be able to quantify.
Thank you. Isabella Nyanga, the head teacher in Nyakemincha Primary School. Yesterday I was called my board of management, UIM chair. Is the one who informed me that the roof has been blown off. Then I asked him, is it our roof or the secondary roof? He told me the secondary roof. Immediately I rushed here, and then when I entered here, the first person I met was Mr. Baiwa, Father Baiwa. I hadn't known that my toilet had also been affected. So after looking at the blown roof, I went down to my station, and then our junior secondary school toilets had been fallen with a tree. A tree broke from the other side, and then it fell on top of the roof. I feared entering inside because I thought maybe it was in progress, it might collapse. So I just looked at it from far, and then I came back, and then there were several trees that were also uprooted, and they fell down. So that is all that I was able to see.
No.
I was informed last evening that the roof of one of the buildings of the secondary school had been blown off by strong winds. I immediately rushed to the institution, and after assessment we realized that there was a lot of destruction. And particularly when we went around the institution, we noted that several trees had fallen. There are big gum trees behind the institution, and about 6-7 trees had fallen down. So seemingly, there must have been very strong winds accompanied with the rains that did the damage. Accompanied by members of the community and a few members of staff and members of the press, we managed to do some little assessment, and this necessitated me to call the principal, who told me he was on his way back because they had been informed. That's why we are here this morning. I want to welcome you all here. I've seen the area assistant chief, Father Obaiwa. I've also seen my counterparts, Abere Elijah, who is also a nominated member of the assembly. And we are here with our area member of parliament, Mheshimiwa Steve Mogaka, and the rest of the leaders. So ours is to welcome you here. Truly, this is a serious issue which needs attention. And Mheshimiwa, thank you for this response. We thank God that you are around, because it could be possible you could not be around, but we thank God you are around. And I want to welcome you to this area to address the public.
Member of County Assembly Nyamira. I'm also a resident of this area. My home is just around here. I just want first to thank God for what happened, because there was no casualties. This is a disaster, and we want to make a special appeal to members of the public that we need to be disaster preparedness, and especially because of the heavy rains that is around in our place. Number two, we want to pray for this school because of what happened, and we want to make a special appeal to the authorities, that is member of parliament, and also our county government, to come up in handy so that we can be able to repair this roof early enough before the schools reopen. Otherwise, we thank God for this, and we want to encourage our people to continue coming to give any assistance that is necessary. Thank you so much.
Aiwa James, ni Father in Church Kebirigo Parish, na nimekuja hapa kwa niaba ya mwenyekiti Father Lawrence Mandele. Tulipata habari kwamba shule yetu St. Peter's Nyakemincha, mvua ile ambayo ilinyesha jana imechukua paa la shule yetu. Kwa hivyo tukakimbia hapa na tukaangalia, tukaona ukweli kwamba hili changa ni kubwa sana. Mkasa ambao tumepata ni mkubwa, kwamba paa la shule yetu imeondolewa na imechukuliwa 100 mita 50. Kwa hivyo vile mumeona na vile tuko hapa, tuko na mkutano wa dharura na shauri kwa hapa, na sasa tunaendelea kuangalia ni lini ambayo tutafanya. Nataka kuwashukuru viongozi wetu, mheshimiwa wetu wa eneo hili yu hapa na sisi, na mheshimiwa wetu Matwelo wamekuja wote, na viongozi wengi wamekuja, na ningependa kuomba kwamba tushirikiane pamoja ili tuone kwamba shule yetu ambayo itafunguliwa wiki kesho, tuone kwamba ni nini itatendeka, ili wanafunzi watakaporudi wapate mahali pa kusomea. Kwa hivyo mimi ningependa kuomba waheshimiwa wetu na wale ambao wangetusaidia kwa hali na mali yao, tuone kwamba shule yetu imeendelea, kwa sababu imenawili sehemu zote, mnaijua shule yetu imeenda mbali. Kwa hivyo watoto watakaporudi, tunashukuru Mungu kwanza kwamba wanafunzi hawakuwa shuleni. Wangekuwa shuleni sasa hizi tungekuwa tunaongea mengine. Na tena hata wale walikuwa shuleni hili alikuwapata. Hata pale ambapo pala shule lilipoanguka alikuangukia, alianguka tu, alikuangukia nyumba, alikuangukia mtu. Kwa hivyo tunashukuru Mungu, na waomba kwamba tushirikiane pamoja na viongozi wetu ili tuendelee mbele. Nashukuru sana. Asante.
And there was that suggestion we had about relocating this institution, one of the institutions, and specifically the primary school, elsewhere, so that it can pave way for development of the secondary section. Maybe as you address members of the public, I don't know if it will be wise for you to maybe respond about this issue. Thank you so much. Karibu Mheshimiwa.
Teacher, MCAs, the area assistant chief, and our priest. parents and community members, as well as members of the Fourth Estate. My name is Wakili Steve Mogaka, privileged to be Member of Parliament for West Mugirango, where Nyakemincha group of schools, which were visited by the wrath of nature yesterday, are located. I traveled overnight to come and assess what's actually happened, and I've just come from the new location of our roof, and I thank God that that roof landed very strategically in between houses and did not affect any house or home, particularly the home of a sickly father of a few children. I just want to thank God for showing us His mercy, that no injury or fatality was registered in this accident. And as Member of Parliament, I want to appeal to His Excellency the President to recognize that Gusii Highlands are one of those areas which are in a very high rain belt, characterized by thunder and hailstorms. We have now added into it these very harsh winds accompanying the rains. I wish to appeal to His Excellency the President to order the ministers in charge of the National Disaster Fund to take steps and make sure that there are interventions made starting from this Nyakemincha and other areas that are likely to be affected with these extended rains. Secondly, I want to appeal to the Red Cross Society that from the time this incident was reported, I'm disappointed that they have not landed on site to do any psychotherapy on the homes that almost lost people if that roof landed in a manner other than the one it has done. I therefore call upon those agencies that are responsible for responding to disaster to also know that West Mugirango and Nyakemincha in particular, for this instance, is a place that deserved their very urgent attention. And it is not too late. They need to, because we have made arrangements with the local hospital, and I thank Governor for permissioning it, that they send clinical officers and medics to examine and counsel the homes that were affected by this disaster. On my part, we have given them the little support that they need, and I want to assure the Nyakemincha community that we will do what it takes to restore their roof and the affected toilets before the children come back to school in a week or so. Because Nyakemincha is one of our gems. It is one of the best performing schools in the Republic. It is one of those schools that has attracted a student population that is enormous. And as leadership, we cannot jeopardize the learning of those children, and we will do every shortcut possible to ensure that contractors are in sight this week, this coming week, and they commence the restoration of the roof. And I want to urge the public works officers to expedite their report on what is it that made this roof cave in or succumb to the push of the winds, so that as the contractors redo the roof, we don't repeat that caused us to lose that roof. And I want to take this opportunity also to ask contractors to take the works they are assigned to do very seriously. Whether it is construction works, whether it is road works, these are structures and public structures that human traffic uses. And if we find, like is reported in other schools, in particular Kura, that there are people who purpose to pilfer public resources, compromise the materials that are used to construct our schools and public institutions, and endanger our children and teachers and users of those facilities, I want to take this opportunity to tell those fake contractors that hiyo soko imefungwa West Mugirango, watafute soko ingine. We will not continue seeing our road money going to pit latrines, accidents, border, people getting injured and maimed every other day. We are paying bills at Enwek. We are tired. And now we are coming to structures, building structures. I want to request the National Construction Authority to consider very quick assessment of all those constructions that have succumbed. The other day, all the toilets in Kibirigo Primary School just collapsed. And those were put up using public resources. And we are required again to redo those toilets when these public resources are scarce and competition for it is very high. As we restore this damaged construction, my appeal is that those who take up any construction work using public resources, they need to think twice, they need to go an extra mile and give us safe results, safe structures, safe roads, and safe infrastructure. Anything short of that, we shall invoke the law. And when that time comes, let nobody say that anybody is targeted. Everybody will reap what they sow. On the Board of Management of Nyakemincha, I want to thank you for calling an emergency meeting to assess this situation. And whatever decisions you take, we will work with you and ensure that we restore our infrastructure and the laboratory in good time for learning to continue. And for our students of Nyakemincha and parents out there, let your hearts not be troubled. We are in charge, and this institution will continue uninterrupted and continue giving us the top results that you always do, and we will always be there to support you. And on the migration of this school, I am appealing one more time to the stakeholders to conclude their consultations. One of the teams wants relocation of the primary schools. One of them says they don't want that relocation to Rio Wankwa. I want to appeal to my area chief, communicate to the DCC to reconvene other public participation so that we build consensus so that we can be able to decongest this school. Otherwise, at the moment, as long as some members want migration and others do not want, I cannot make a political decision on that. I will only support a decision that has been collectively been agreed. And whatever that decision, we will go by it. And lest I forget, Nyakemincha is one of the schools that we are renovating with the national government CDF funds. Once they are released, we have not got development funds. We only got bursary funds, which we have disbursed. I am hoping that before the schools reopen, we will have received development funds and we will do what it takes to a complete renovation of the Nyakemincha Primary School. And whether it migrates or not, these buildings require renovation. We can't have a quality performing school like this having some of the structures looking like they are not supposed to be here. I thank you all people. I want you to, the preparations to launch the school development using Kuwait funding. And Nyakemincha is one of the beneficiaries of those funding. I want to urge the CS to persuade His Excellency the President, because we agreed it is the President coming to launch it. I want to plead with the CS to request the president to find a place in his diary to come and launch the Kuwait-funded school development program, because they are overdue. If they had been commenced, some of these challenges we are having here would not be there. And when that time comes, I am urging those contractors who qualified to do the construction to ensure that they use local material and local labor. We have enough of them. We do not want people imported to come and earn money from our sites when our young school leavers are here energetically ready to work and are not getting a place to work. Kwa hayo machache